pressuring you in any way. Ready when you are. Yeah, this is 5 mono shard decks. But as long as your deck is commons and uncommons only, you're still good. So where is... Let's start with Wild. Okay, I'm not at all already. Well, you got a little bit. You have some time. Timblagore is our first challenger of the evening. I'm going to take down the notice because we have a actual fight on our hands. Kismet has decreed we get to go first, and we will keep this. So the next dungeon is gonna be real easy for me, from obviously a design and execution standpoint, because I just need to make a map. I already have the decks. I am thinking through ideas on how to do a hexercise dungeon. Since I've started doing some workouts on a treadmill, I'd love to do a Dungeon Masters of Entrath stream where I'm also walking on the treadmill the whole time. And basically, making the win condition, you make me want to quit. So, like, if somebody wins, then I either have to start walking faster, or if they win, I have to start walking on a higher incline, until basically I give up. And if you make me give up, you win. So that's kind of the idea I am kicking around for a hexercise dungeon. But I need to kind of think on a little bit, like, obviously the deck rules, what are we playing while we do this, and kind of some of the rules on the mechanics and how that works, because the last thing I want is for somebody to win a couple games to put me in a compromising position where I'm walking really fast and then just intentionally slow play to wear me out. That's not a fun experience for anybody. So that dungeon is still in the idea stage right now. Chatatog is throwing the bombus at us. So far, I think I would enjoy that. Yeah, I'm sure there's a non-trivial number of people that would enjoy watching me suffer. So we need some shards for our merry band of Shroomkin here. So far, I've shied away from requiring any specific card be in someone's deck, but I might do that for some dungeons where I make like rules or achievements where you have to use a specific card. In which case, then I'll probably take a look at the auction house and see what's cheap, so that if somebody doesn't happen to have a card, they can acquire it without breaking the bank. I don't own any Brides of the Damned myself, but I would never make a dungeon that requires you to have Bride of the Damned, because that's not a good idea. That greatly shrinks the size of your potential audience when you do something like that. So we are going to start taking some hits from the Flickering Gobbler on a pretty regular basis now. And without any cards in the crypt, these are just dead cards. So we're going to swing in with all of our fungus here, and I still can't... The curse of this dungeon has been an inability to consistently find shards. Oh hey, you just made Fungus Among Us better. Put up to 4 target troops in your crypt into your deck. Summon a shroom pin for each troop put into your deck this way. So guess what's going back in the deck? Yeah, nobody expects Fungus Among Us. I think challengers could choose to include or speed. The deck building rules change depending on what they pick. Means you can do whatever. So the problem with doing several games is that you start getting tired in later games. Oh yeah, the incline. Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. If somebody beats me, they choose whether I have to go faster or if I have to go at a higher incline. I like that idea. Speaking of brides, I opened my 4th. Well, good for you. Congratulations, I've opened hundreds of Scars of War packs. I don't have a single one yet. They are my white whale of this set. I just cannot find one, let alone a playset. Alright, so there is a much needed 3rd shard. We're going to swing with our Happy Mushroom Army. Oh crap, that was a misplay. Shroomkin, can you control? I missed 4 points of damage there. Oh, I should have played that pre-combat. Dungeon Master, learn how your own decks work. Got a second Raven's Morsel for over 3,000 platinum. Nice! I finally got one of those, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with Kismet Reserve packs. So now I am, unless I'm giving away gold on the Dungeon Masters of Entrath stream, I am hoarding it, waiting for the Kismet's packs to rotate. Just the crib to get. Now, what's the crib? Is that one of the equipments? Crib is Stork equipment. The rare one. About 1k platinum. I might have a spare. I might be able to hook you up with one at a reasonable price. But don't quote me on that because I'm very bad at knowing what my equipment inventory is, so I'll have to take a look. I know I have at least one. I'm pretty certain I have at least one. I'm not sure about multiples. Alright, so we're down to 7 health, which is problematic. But I think we can get in for lethal next turn with pheromones. Maybe? Barring removal. Now, pheromones is a basic action. So we are going to put pheromones on that. Now the upside is if that gets killed by removal, that makes Flourishing Growth playable. And again, I love Pheromones because Pheromones is another card I don't think people tend to see coming. But opposing troops must block this if able. So now everybody has to block the Stinkhorn, which of course has lethal. So let's see if we can take out Bombus here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is lethal. Ooh, but that doesn't enable the growth. Dang! And that makes that cost one more. Oh, just taking the snipes. Now, that does put a troop in there. 4, 1, 2. I don't think this matters. Let's put Trufflehead in the deck. And that might not have been correct. It may have been better. Actually, I think it might have been better to put that on the Stinkhorn, take out both Bumblebots, because I think the Flickering Gobbler plus Bumblebot equals 7. Or just Mama Yeti. Yeah, we're dead. Needed to get the kill that turn and couldn't pull it off. Alright, one deck down, 4 to go. So Wild has fallen. Wild is down. What do we want to play next, folks? What's the challenge? Okay, May Jester says Ruby. So let's go Avatar of Ruby. Half an hour ago, it was absolutely pouring outside, and now it looks like a perfect spring evening. So this is fine. We have a Baby Yeti on 1, we have a Wolvir Basher on 2, we have a Burn, and we have a couple Kindle Archers to start powering up. Sounds like weather in the UK, yeah, just the sudden, immediate season change. Alright, we'll take our free point to damage against McBombus. See one, play one. The rain half. Alright, so Wolvir plus 2 Baby Yetis probably next turn. One of them is Heavy Rain, the next was Out, and it felt like Midsummer. We had one in Minnesota, you know, just along the Canadian border of the United States. We had a day, late April, I think, where it had been like in the mid. You'll have to forgive me. We're US. We use Fahrenheit. It was in the like mid 60s, mid 70s Fahrenheit. People were out mowing their lawns, and that evening it snowed. Takes 3, does the troop trades. Burn is going to be saved for one of the flickering gobblers when we see them, because those are probably one of the biggest threats in that deck, and they are in burn range. Alright, so Pyre striking the Wolvir. Now we have to take a slice of Bumblebot. So nothing to do here but play Kindle Archer past the turn. At the end of each turn, if an opposing champion was dealt damage, this gets +1/+1. These guys were kind of an edge card where I felt they're a little slow for what the deck was trying to do, but I was having a brain fart of not thinking of a better card to include. And then the dungeon went live, and I don't like to change decks after people have started to see them, so they are a thing. Alright, and we are out of resources, so we can't deal with the Gobbler this turn, but we now know it's there. Alright, so we'll go for resources. We're going to play the one that we can afford to play, and leave a resource up for burn, and pass the turn here. So one more resource till another Bumblebot. No flickering gobbler this turn. So with Crushing Blow being use it or lose it, we are definitely using. Do I do this to get another tick? It would mean a flickering gobbler to the face next turn. This might be a little bit greedy, but I'm going to play this and get a tick on each of them. Even though we now cannot stop a flickering gobbler this turn. Chattog's on 5 resources, 2 cards in hand, one of which is a flickering gobbler, the other is a Mama Yeti. Well, that's problematic. See one, play one. These would become 4/3s, so they could stop So they'd only trade 1-to-1 on a Yeti. Would have loved another shard or two. So these are now 4 threes. There'll be 5, 6. Flickering Gobbler needs an action. Or it just dies at the end of the turn. Alright, so there's the Flickering Gobbler. So if there's no blocks, this is 5, 9, that's 10 damage. Way too risky. Alright, so Lanapaw's Sight will allow that to go back to hand. Do you want to trade Mama Yetis? I should have been swinging in with these. Next turn, we'll definitely swing in with these. But we have a burn reserved for that Flickering Gobbler that we know about. There it is. What is the action? Well, we gotta cast the burn before that hits us and hope it's not like a verdict. Okay, thankfully it's not. That is just dead. So now we swing in with both of these because it's definitely worth swinging in with both of those. Let's apply some pressure. Throw it on Flame Guard, Bolt Spasm. I think the Avatar Ruby gets the win here. Not much that can deal with four troops. Does Time Ripple 1 Kindle Archer back into hand? And gets a blocker, and now has 2 cards in hand. So there could be a chance. Oh, Crushing Blow, though. Crushing Blow should probably be the endgame. Yep, we got there. So everybody give yep, GG's, well played. And we're gonna add into the prize list here. Okay, so We're going to call that failed attempt number 1, and a rare is added at fails 1, 3, and 5. I've tried to regiment, kind of make it a little bit more predictable for me and for chat what the prize structure is going to be. So rather than have a really big, ugly wall of text on screen with what the prizes are, I made a publicly viewable Google document with this information. So if you type exclamation prizes, that will give you a link for the Google document where you can see the current prize pool. Right now it's a Shards of War booster pack, 5,000 gold, a Deep Gaze champion, and a Deep Gaze champion and a Zodiac Crowfeather. And then I left myself a queue of rares at the bottom to kind of show what next ones are going to be in the order they're added in. 2k gold is added at every few fails. A booster is added at every 5 and 0 fail on the dungeon, so that there's kind of a predictable growth pattern to that. Because all the prizes right now are self-funded. You know, those are coming out of my pocket. I do not have any official Hex Entertainment sponsorship or anything like that. They're not giving me packs to give out, so kind of working off my budget. But if I do get any donations, then I would add those into the hype pool. But that's kind of the current prize kind of schedule on how we grow the pot. So I believe, and now Chatatog, you are eligible to compete against the dungeon. Again, it's definitely not a you only can play once type deal. The only rule on repeat attempts is that at least one person has to go between your first attempt and your next attempt. That way it's not just one person repeatedly bashing their head against a dungeon over and over again. But this probably won't be a problem tonight. Tim Lagore, you are up. If you have your deck ready and you're ready to go, let me know. Feel free to go ahead and shoot me a challenge. If you have any specific order in which you wish to face the 5 different decks, let me know. Boy, I hope that's not a crack in the lining already. I think I got a little crack on the interior of my Hex mug already. And I never even dropped it or nothing. And Zubrin packed this real well. This isn't Zubrin's fault that this is cracked. I don't know what the heck that is. Alright. Yeah, Tim Lagore, oh, I see. I just noticed your whispers now. Sorry, I was looking at the interior of my Hex mug, and I was sad that I see a crack in the interior lining. But yes, go ahead and send me a challenge. And May Jester, you are up next. After Tim Lagore. I will add you to my queue here so that you can go from there, and then if there's any other people who've not challenged yet at all, we'll throw them in. Otherwise, we'll get to the point where people can start re-challenging. Or I'm just going to send you a challenge. You fear no shards. Wait, cancel. If you answer, it's either... Yeah. Bam. I'll send you a challenge. We're going to go... Avatar of Sapphire. We're going to do a different order this time. Mixing it up. Tim Lagore, I thought we were on our friends list. Can't you challenge me from there? Alright. Second challenger for the evening, Tim Lagore versus the 5 shard avatars. Rolling with Bishop Elijah. So this is not the most gas hand, but I have been horribly shard screwed with this before. That was perfect timing. Had to put your daughter to bed right after that match. Well, I guess it all works out. We'll go ahead and keep this. And now we'll see if any of the decks can stop conscription. May Kismet favor the faithful. May Kismet give me gas. As in good cards. There you go. So this deck has a lot of bounce to it, and trying to just, you know, tempo our opponent, get things back in their deck, while we gradually build our board and build to the big whammy that is 10 charges and quadruple Sapphire Threshold. Put each opposing troop into their hand. Daughter of Stars just feels like a super impractical champion in many ways, so it's like, I really want to build a deck around her. So we're going to go ahead and stun that. Alright, let's see what that conscript hit was. Battlefield Ironsmith. To play another Ardent troop you control gets +3 attack. It's a pretty decent hit. We're to bounce that back into the hand so they don't get the conscription off of it, and they have to replay it. And Sapphire's favor is choose one, gain 2 charges, stun each opposing troop with power 1 or less, or interrupt all basic actions. Basically, this is pay 2 for 2 charges with how we are using it to try to help rush towards 10. Wow, spoiling the scout fun. We gotta do what we can. Right, so these are both quick actions. This next action in your deck gets draw a card. That's pretty good, actually. I think I'm just going to get the Cloudbounder out here to have a little bit more board presence. And pass the turn. So now next turn we'll be at 5 charges. This can get us to 6. This can get us to 8. That's charge number 9. So we're going to get close to the point where we can actually click the button for Daughter of Stars. It's just kind of a matter of having enough of a board presence that it's impactful once we do it. Cloudbounder out there, and now Crackling Tide can ship one of those back into the hand. We get a charge. It does not increase the cost of the troop. Alright, so Vicious Vivisector is a 3/5 for 5. Not the scariest possible hit. I'm surprised that that didn't swing as well, but maybe it doesn't want to risk trading it. Alright, Lifeweaver Shaman is a 2/4. Hilltop Monastery is nice as well. Can exhaust troops to create valors and put them in hand. Alright, so we're at 6 charges. This will be 7, this will be 8 and 9, and that's 10. I think Daughter of Stars is going to happen this game.
A parting gift.
This is a fair amount of damage cracking in. So let's throw this back. I'll just block there, so we take 6. Let's gain a couple charges. Gain 2 charges. Firefield Elder. Next action in your deck, you find it, you copy it. I keep having to check what these silly cards are. They all look wrong.
Shit, not again.
Gotta give the AAs some love. First time I have ever been able to hit the charge power on Daughter. Because that just throws away the entire board. They can't crack in. So that's 6. That's 6 in the air that have to be dealt with. Yep, no flyers, no life gain. It does have Reginald. Reginald, when it deals damage to a champion, you put it in their deck, and if they draw it, basically they die. Staple of Creation. Yep, so there's everything back on the board, but no flyers, no life gain. And we got copy power on Crackling Tide. So we did hit one rare in the deck, but really didn't need it. Because we never played what it copied or swung with it. Yeah, that nasty flying shenanigans and Daughter of Stars managing to put a hard stop on the conscription overrun. GG's. So that was fail number, we'll call that fail number 2, which adds 2,000 gold to the prize pool, so we're at 7,000. And May Jester, you are up. You are the next contestant on Dungeon Masters of Entrath. If your in-game name is different than your Twitch handle, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to assume the same. Alright, I sent a whisper. You're up, okay to challenge when ready. And if you have any preference on order of decks, let me know that as well. All 5 have to be beat. The order is not relevant, so if people have any strong preference, I let you say so. And if I hadn't mentioned earlier, newer viewers may not know this, but you are also allowed to use different decks between matches. You are not required to use the same one deck for all 5 matches of this dungeon. As long as all of the decks comply with the rules, you can build decks to counter what each particular deck is trying to do if you are so inclined. Because I don't design the dungeons or the decks with balance in mind such that only a single deck can. Alright, I will send the challenge. They want to do Diamond first. Let's go Immortal and Avatar of Diamond. I am changing the dungeon for next week, but the deck building rules are not going to change. It's still going to be commons and uncommons only. If nobody beats this dungeon tonight, all the prize buildup is going to get rolled over into next week's dungeon. So I'm not gonna reset any of that. All that will stay. This is fine. Cloud Speaker, a couple decrees, a moon call. I don't think the next dungeon is going to have a hardcore mode, because it is going to be a kind of a greatest hits album of a lot of the decks from prior dungeons and this one. So some of these decks may be in the dungeon again. Some of the other common and uncommon decks I've built will be in there. If I have time permitting, I might build a couple others as well. It's going to be a deck that has a dungeon that has multiple different paths to victory in it. Alright, so Ashwood Transmuter is worthless to us from an ability standpoint, but it is at least a 3/2 for 2. Yeah, there won't be a hardcore mode, but there will be the bonus rooms, since it's going to be a dungeon that has a map. What if you beat the dungeon again? Well, it would be a new dungeon, so you've probably, knowing you, Birthing Potter, you've probably beat all the decks before at least once, but we come around your house with Nerf bats. Stop beating the Dungeon Master! Psh, psh, psh. Mister, I'm gonna beat the dungeon on the first try. Should call that the Potter Award or something for just showing up and casually wrecking a dungeon the first time it's ever come out. And I hope I don't sound salty, because I'm not mad about that. I'm actually pretty impressed. Alright, so we're swinging in with a 3-2 because it's a 3-2, and then we want to try to get our conscription engine going. And now we just throw out the cloud speaker because it's a nice big 0-4 butt. So this deck is Tri-Shard. Playing around with Dreadlings. We could use some extra shards. And this is our first example of one of the AI-only cards in this deck, is that there is a Lorgoyle Curator in here, which is great against Dreadlings. Just turn all those Dreadlings into cards in our deck. So there is a third shard. That is happy to see. Now, when this attacks, Shroom can get plus to attack. I think this is a good time to bring out the first decree of banishing. And we get rid of the Potent Puffball. I like budget formats. They are a Brewer's Paradise. I really like budget formats too. For that, they're a Brewer's Paradise. They're also, I think, very laid back and lower pressure. Whether you win or lose, when you're not talking high budget decks and relatively low stakes like this game show, then it's just more about, it's more that kitchen table experience of a couple people sitting across the proverbial table from each other, just trying to do random fun crazy shenanigans and see what happens. So I am definitely going to try to keep skewing the dungeons towards affordability, and any more expensive deck dungeon is going to be kind of a special event or a more limited thing and not the norm. So I am cursed. Yeah, if anybody was watching my stream yesterday, I am cursed to hit this card off of Blessed Scout. I was playing a conscription deck in Functions Tournament, and I hit this back to back. I hit this like 2 out of 3 times. At the start of your turn, this deals 1 damage to you. It's a 2/2 for 1. It's just not good for that price. Like, you don't feel good playing that card. This 1, 2, 3. We're gonna hold this. Fang is fine as long as you keep swinging with it. You have to. So let's get the Lorgoyle Curator out here. Transform target card in a crypt into a Tome of Lore and put it into your deck. So let's start gobbling up Dreadlings. And that will help us in the long run. Another Potent Puffball. So we've got Decree of Banishing and Repel in hand. And there's another Repel. So first target is Decree of Banishing for a potent puffball. And then we're going to go ahead and swing with these two. Yeah, you want it early. I'm sitting on the cloud speaker here. It would be possible to use cloud speaker's one-shot power to make the lower goil even bigger. I almost forgot why there's a Grievous Phantom in this deck, because my deck is currently not giving me any Phantoms. And then I remembered there's a reason that Grievous Phantom is in this deck. Deploy, transform each Phantom you control into a Grievous Phantom. So Ada's little 1/1 Phantoms can become flying 5/5s. That is the ultimate endgame of this deck. Everything else in this deck, the removal and all of that, is window dressing to try to get to the point that a Grievous Phantom hits play. But right now, we're just kind of sitting behind a wall of nice defense bodies. Okay, that's a lot of dreadlings. What does that do? That, draw 2 cards, summon a dreadling for each card in your hand. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, it'd be 2, 4, 6, 8 damage coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and block 1 with the Howling Brave. Removal, removal, removal. Lots of finding all the removal. I'm going to avoid that to make dreadlings a little bit less scary. And now swing with these and leave the cloud speakers back as blockers. Once again, that's a lot of dreadlings. It's 1, 2, 3. How many? Oh crap! I think I overextended myself. Two, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I overextended myself. That's dead. That's death. What's up, Bofetti? How are you doing on this Wednesday night? Alright, so Diamond has fallen. I definitely overextended there. No walking tonight. No, usually there will not be dungeon walking on Dungeon Masters of Entrath. Alright, so 1 deck down. One deck down, 4 to go. I am doing alright, Bofetti. I left work early today. I was not feeling particularly great. And it was not in a good... I have to spend a lot of time on the phone talking to people over the course of the day. And I won't go into the details, but let's just say I was in a situation where you did not want to be tied down on the phone with people for a lot of... the day, so I ended up leaving early. So I'm gonna have a very I'm gonna have a very long day tomorrow, trying to catch up with people. But so I came home early. I just kind of tried to rest up and take care of myself so that I could still do the stream tonight. And I think, I can catch up with everything tomorrow. But definitely not going to be a late night stream because I'm gonna be waking up early to get in the office early. But otherwise, I'm doing okay. The good news is after walking, that would be a fair guess, Bofity. The good news is that as far as my legs go, after all that walking I did yesterday, my legs felt great. I did not feel jelly legs, no chafing, no soreness, no awful blisters. I just felt like basically like I hadn't even done it, which is good. It means that, I'm starting to get in better shape. Which means, that it's going to be even easier for me to keep doing those Dungeon Master streams. Not Dungeon Master streams, the exercise streams. So I'm definitely, unless I am so ill on Friday that I can't walk, which seems unlikely, then I will definitely be walking again on Friday. Yeah, definitely. The hardest part is always getting started, but I like that I can definitively feel an effect now. I know it's accomplishing something, and that makes it a lot easier to keep doing it. Alright, so depending on your perspective, Birthing Potter either gets a lot of credit or a lot of blame for this deck. Depending on how much you like it or hate it. But I took some of the zombie design and the use of the Death Head Rider and Scrounge from what I had seen him use to wreck my face before. But then I adapted it for Mono Blood. So now next turn we'll have a Dreadling to sacrifice into zombies. So we're not going to attack with this yet. So Skittering Cultivator is good, but Strangle-able. Also worth noting that we have 3 kills in hand. 3 out of 4. The removal game is just on point. Kill's a quick action, so let's go ahead and do this and see how the blocks are. None. Alright, I guess that means we can play another zombie. Pass the turn. Probably strangle the Skittering Cultivator on swing. Zombie Takahiro. It's fun to play, and the zombies just get savage. So that may not swing it. That may not swing into the face of a 4-2. It doesn't. So we'll go ahead and we're gonna take 4. And we're to strangle the Potent Puffball. There's a Tomb Swap. Nothing really to bring back. But let's sacrifice a Dreadling for the greater good. And swing in with 2 incredibly evil zombies. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this before it can provide any power to Dreadlings. because we have 3 kills in hand. So I feel like it's okay to spare one. Why not kill and push damage? Well, that's 1 point of damage. I don't know that that would have made a big difference. Alright, so we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, now we kill. Ah, okay. But now we have lethal here. That's 14. The Avatar of Blood has emerged victorious. Good games, Mayjester. And we're going to go into the prize pool. That would be fail count number 3. And so All in the Family is the next rare in the queue. So we will add All in the Family and delete that off the queue. That's now officially in the prize pool. And them zombies, they are evil. Next failed challenge will result in 2k gold added to the pool, and then after that will be another booster, Scars of War booster added in. Alright, so everybody, I think that covered everybody so far who had said they had a deck ready has gotten at least one challenge. If anybody has a deck of common and uncommon only cards, you can have multiple decks. You're allowed to change your decks for every between every match if you want, as long as they all meet the rules. You just need to have at least one deck that's common and uncommon only cards. So if there's anybody here who has not yet challenged the dungeon and has an eligible deck, let me know, because you would get the preferential treatment here. Otherwise, for those people who have already challenged tonight, Mayjester, Timblagore, and Chatatog, if any of you would like another crack at the dungeon, let me know. Mayjester can't run back to back, so either Chatatog or Timblagore would need to be a buffer, but Mayjester would be eligible to have another run following that. So if anybody wants to have a go at it, please do let me know here. And I'm gonna step away from the stream momentarily. I'm just gonna refill my glass of water. I'll be back in not even 60 seconds. It helps if you unmute your mic when you come back so that people can hear what you're saying. Just, streaming pro tip for you. Timblagore, you're up. And then Birthing Potter, if you want to play a single game against one of the decks, I'll let you shout out what matchup you'd want to see. But I'm fine with that. But Like, would like my hex not to crash when I win a game. That sounds like a fair request. Sorry to hear your computer has issues. Tim Lagore, any particular deck you want to face first? Oh, I got the hiccups. Maybe a memory issue. That sounds like the most likely. That sounds like the most likely cause. Ooh, Tim Lagore wants to fight the zombies. Alright, let's do this. Immortal. Oh, Avatar of Blood. It already is right there. Started with the last... Ooh. So, did they add in something that's having an effect, I wonder? Alright, zombies versus conscription. Look at that, 2 zombies. 2 zombies, 2 kills. No real sacrifice bait, but this is not a terrible hand to start with. Red Shard's a little bit unexciting. But let's jam out a zombie and pass the turn. I would expect Conscript is going to have a play on too, especially with both shards. Ooh, Sacred Stance. That deck wants to get big in a hurry. Alright, and we have Corrupt Harvester here. 3/3 life drain, cannot be blocked except by artifact troops and or blood troops. So this is just going to keep sailing right past that line of defense. What's better than 1 zombie? 2 zombies. Those things are going to get big and obnoxious, though, really fast. So I'm not entirely sure what the optimum line of play is here. Could swing in with these 2 and then strangle that. I mean, Bishop Elijah has the ability to bring both of them back in a couple turns. But we could get one off the board. We could get both of them out of there for a single zombie. Or play Corrupt Harvester. Those are only going to keep getting, well, those are only going to keep getting bigger.
Hey guys, Little V here. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, feel free to click on these other videos.
Script is a headache.
Enjoy them too. And if you really
When you're on this side of the
video
table
and
to
wanna
try
help
to
me
decide
produce
what
more
order to play
content
is.
like this, head over to my Bandcamp page and pick up an album, or support me directly on Patreon. Every little bit helps, and it keeps my lights on. Rock on, peace out, see you next time.
Ooh, another round of storm. The thunder and lightning are going off outside. So trade or sacrifice and let it live. Yeah, they were both blocked. Never mind. I think Conscript is a rough matchup for this. Because so many troops are made so fast for so cheaply. I'll miss Corrupt Harvester. Hope that gets a reprint someday. Well, he's not friendly. Indeed. A 3/3 life drain unblockable? I mean, come on, that's good. Oh, the beats just keep coming. Forgotten Monarch, +1/+1 in all zones, and it creates... It's a conscripted troop that creates another troop on top of it. I mean, just a fistful of troops. And that's lethal if we just let all that sail through, so do have to kind of try to stop it. Although, sadly, I can't play that and a kill at the same time. But we can sacrifice the Dreadling that we got to draw a card. And now I can play that and kill. I still think we're pretty dead, though. Is, I mean, perfect world, stop 6. Stop 6, that's still 11 getting through. Gain 3 health. All the troops, just vomit your hand out on the board. Blah, here's all my cheap troops. Blah. Zombies are getting overrun. I mean, I guess I have to let that go because I need to use kill to take out a threat. By the way, I don't foresee this being a problem, but if my stream unexpectedly dies, there is thunder and lightning going on outside. So it's unlikely, but within the realm of possibility that my power gets knocked out. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this storm is like a 2 or a 3 as far as thunderstorms go. So I'm not too worried about it, but it's possible. Alright, so we're just dead. Conscript outraced us with troops on the board. And I'm not mean enough to play Extinction in a deck that I tell people to roll with commons and uncommons only. So that was never available to us as an out. Although I might build a deck with a dungeon with a bunch of decks that have board sweepers in them. And that's part of the challenge, is to kill before the board gets wiped. Alright, so Tim Lagore has taken out Blood. It still has 4 champions to go. Army marches on. What is next? My turn to pick one. Alright. Challenge. Tim Lagore Immortal. We're not gonna do the Daughter of Stars rematch yet. Let's hold up on that one. Let's go Avatar of... Guess we went Blood. Let's go Diamond. We'll save Daughter of Stars for closer to the end of Tim Lagore's run, if it ends up coming to that. Tim Lagore wins the flip and gets to go first. We have a Mooncall Ceremony, a Cloud Speaker, and 3 pieces of removal. So this is a hand worthy of being kept, I think, especially on the draw. And there's Lorgoyle Curator. So we've got one of the rares in the deck. So I hear this has something to do with phantoms. Fair guess. Sacred Stance immediately. Alright, so let's get our Mooncall Ceremony out. We hit a Storm Rider, which is actually pretty good as far as they go in this matchup, because it has the ability to revert something. Let's throw that out to be offensive. Do need to get a few shards. We are a very long way from being able to play the Grievous Phantom. But we have the end game we have our end game in sight. For Pupil of Creation. This its text isn't really relevant because that deck is not going to be playing a whole lot of 5-cost troops. So I've got Repel, so I'm going to go ahead and swing in here and take my 2 points of damage. Not play the Cloud Speaker. Really do need to start finding some shards here, though. Another Sacred Stance. Alright, let's get rid of that. Oh, Bishop Elijah just brings it right back. Rude. I swear I just killed you. Alright, so there is a 3rd shard. The reversion is, it costs 1, it's a 1-shot. I want to hold on to that a bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the Lorgoyle out. This is gonna involve eating 4 damage probably next turn. She was just having a nap. I killed you. I got better. Golly. Twin Sacred Stances is just nuts. Alright, and there goes our Largoyle. No, there goes our ability to revert anything. And there goes our prize. There goes all our toys. We're sitting with a naked board facing down the conscript engine. Alright, now here's a part of the endgame machine 2. Dance Macabre. Transform all troops in your crypt into phantoms and put them into place. You play that one turn, and then the next turn you Windmill Slam the Grievous Phantom to turn them all into 5/5 flyers. But to do that, you have to draw shards, which is not happening. Troops are my thing. Ugh. 5/5 life drain. Yeah, that's also gonna get the Bring to Justice treatment. So I hear you like Corrupt Harvesters. Some shards would be cool. Because now I just kind of have to start jamming out the cloud speakers. I mean, the good news is that Timlagor is pretty much in top deck mode. Bad news is we don't have any real threats on the board right now. And now there's a 5-drop. Five 3 life drain flight. This is a little out of control now. Artisanal Cheesesmith. So we take 5 in the air, we're dead. Because we can't play... We need to play 2 cards to not be dead. Five in the air can block that. We're still taking 9, so we dead. Alright, so Blood and Diamond are have died. That's 2 down, 3 to go for Timlagor. And if we're alternating, time for Ruby. Alright. Well then I shall waste no time. Timlagor challenge. Immortal. Avatar Ruby. Two down, 3 to go. I would like my shard base to be a little bit better this time so that it's scotch more competitive. Although getting conscript into top deck mode can be an achievement at times. This is fine. Got a few pieces of removal, got Wolvir, got Mama Yeti to draw towards. So we're just gonna hope that we don't see 2 sacred stances so early again, because that can be problematic. Alright, so we'll veer this turn for sure. Next turn, probably Baby Yeti, and then potentially a Crushing Blow. Yeah, we didn't want to see the Sacred Stance. Actually, we'll do it that way. Try to get as many threats out on the board as possible. Gotta swing in faster than conscript. Okay, once again, shard troubles, but let's start by swinging in. And see where the block goes. Well, all constants is a pretty bad draw. That's true. They could be pretty terminal if troops don't start showing up soon. Alright. That is a concerning sign for Tim Lagore. I'm gonna burn that before it gets the bonus.